Hey.
Hello, hello, hello. I hope that all is well. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and I want to welcome you here with me today as we continue to go along this journey of self exploration and self love. I am your heart coach, and as a heart coach, I work with individuals to confront matters of the heart so that they can live authentically on purpose. Far too many of us are struggling when it comes to how we love ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. Yes, we're very good at taking care of everybody else and being there for those who need us, but how well are you at being there for yourself? How well do you take care of yourself? I often find myself talking with clients about this and also talking with them about their relationships, and not just with their significant others, their relationship with family members, their relationship with their finances and in professional relationships. And I found a big need to help you all and help individuals really figure out, is their heart open for love and success? So today, we're going to go over the answers to your checklist. If you're watching this video, you probably completed the Is My Heart Open for Love checklist. And today we're going to go through the results, because the truth of the matter is many of us think that it's everybody else. But oftentimes it's us, it's within, and we have to be able to confront that. So today we're going to go over the results of the checklist, and then we'll look and see if you really have a heart that's open for love and success. So what does it mean to have a heart that's open for love and success? What does it mean to have a heart open for love and success? I have been asked that question many times. Well, Adelaide, what does it mean to have a heart that's open for love and success? It pretty much means that you are open, you are ready, you are vulnerable, that you have put yourself out there. You don't have guards up that are going to hinder you from growing, that are going to hinder you from learning, that are going to hinder you from succeeding in life and in your relationships. I can tell you from personal experience in my marriage, in my relationship with my parents, I had a heart that was closed. My heart was hard. I had been hurt. I had been disappointed. I had been let down. And because of that, I grew this hard exterior. And for a long time, I thought it was everybody else's problem. Well, why are they treating me like this? And why do I have to keep going through this? But the truth of the matter was, I wasn't open. I wasn't ready because I was still wounded. And it was time for me to heal. And I want you to heal. So today we're going to go through that checklist, because I believe that as we go through that checklist, we are going to unlock and open up areas of your life and areas of your heart that may be closed. So let's move forward. We're going to go through the checklist. We have a series of questions for you, so be open and honest. And just remember, this is a no judgment zone, okay? We're not judging you. We're not going to treat you mean if you find that you don't answer anything on the checklist that is, I guess, a positive answer, we would say. But it is a good gauge, a good measure for you to see where you are and the areas you may need to work on. Okay? First question: do you have a fulfilling relationship with a higher power? Do you have a fulfilling relationship with a higher power? This question is very important because all too often we go through life trying to create things and make things happen on our own. And though I believe that we have to be responsible for our actions, I also know that there are certain situations in life that are going to take place that are just greater than us and are just out of our control. And we also have a reason for being here. And it's just like when you get a TV, you don't ask the television, why were you created? You go to the instruction manual. You go to the manufacturer. You want to figure out from the manufacturer, what is the purpose for this creation. And it's the same thing with us. For me, my relationship is with Christ, the Jesus Christ. That's my Savior. I believe in God and the Trinity and just all of that, going along with Christianity. But and because of that, that is my foundation in life. And for many years, I didn't have a close relationship with Christ. I wasn't pursuing relationship with Him. And because of that, I found myself very insecure. I found myself in very dysfunctional relationships. And it wasn't until I started to really dig deep and dive deeper into this relationship with Christ did I start to see changes in every other relationship in my life. So I have a question for you. What about you? Do you have a fulfilling relationship with a higher power? Are you someone who is actively pursuing that? It might not be Jesus Christ. You may believe in something or someone else, but what is your relationship like? Do you spend quality time? Do you get silent? Do you get still? Do you study? Do you meditate? Those things are very important when we talk about having a fulfilling relationship and being open for love and success. It really matters. So I want you to think about that. Do you have a fulfilling relationship with a higher power? Let's move on. Next question. Do you embrace all of your flaws? Do you embrace all of your flaws? This is a very good question because as a heart coach, a life coach who really helps individuals work through matters of the heart so that they can live authentically on purpose. What I find is I come across a lot of strong individuals who are very clear about what they're going to do, what they're not going to do, and they seem to be very clear about themselves. But they'll say things like, well, this is who I am, and you just have to accept me for who I am, and, love me the way that I am. And it sounds very convincing. But as we have more conversations, I find that their self-talk is very toxic. The way they talk about themselves and their shortcomings or their flaws shows that they're not as comfortable with those flaws as they may present themselves. So that's my question to you. Are you comfortable with all of your flaws? One of the keys to having a heart that's open for love and success is we have to understand that we are flawed, and we're going to go into relationship with flawed individuals. And so we're going to have grace for ourselves so that we can have grace for others. So if you don't have grace for yourself and you're not willing to accept your flaws, then it's going to be very hard for you to have grace for somebody else in their relationship. Think about that. We're going to move on, but you think about it. Do you embrace all of your flaws? We're moving forward. Next question. Are you aware of your strengths and weaknesses? Are you? Are you aware of your strengths and weaknesses? One of the it's very similar to embracing all of your flaws, but then it goes a little deeper. A lot of times we go through life and we're really good at certain things and we can excel in certain areas, but those are areas that we don't think much of. For example, before I started writing my books, or before I started sending out encouraging text messages, and talking to family and friends now, they tell me I've always been like the way I am. I've always been an encourager. I've always been one to give a warm, welcoming word, a word that would uplift someone or inspire them or enlighten them. And I never thought about myself like that. And I saw myself very differently. And because I was not aware of those strengths that I had, I focused more on the weaknesses that I had. And even in that, I found that I have weaknesses that I once thought were strengths, but I'm really not as good at as I thought I was. And so I had to allow that relationship with my higher power to help me to start to look at my flaws and start to embrace my strengths and my weaknesses. So that's my question to you. Do you I mean, are you aware of your strengths and weaknesses, and what are you doing with those? Have you made connections with people to help you strengthen your weaknesses, and have you worked with people to help you polish up your strengths and make them even stronger? Are you okay with delegating things? Think about that. Because when it comes down to being in love and having a strong relationship and being successful, I feel like love and success are the same thing. They just they kind of present themselves in different ways. So when we talk about is your heart open for love and success, it's the whole idea of the more you love yourself, the more you can love others, and the more you can embrace those types of relationships in every area of your life. And if you're not clear about who you are, then you're not able to do that. So we're going to move forward, but I hope this is helping you, and I hope you're starting to look at yourself, not at everybody around you, but looking within, looking at your own heart to see where you are and where you stand. Let's move on. Are you comfortable with receiving affection? Are you comfortable with receiving affection? Are you okay with the hugs? Are you okay with the love? Is it okay if somebody put their hand on your shoulder or give you a kiss on your cheek? Does it make you uncomfortable when people express to you that how much they love you and how they feel about you? Do you willingly accept those things, or do you find ways to deflect it? Do you try to come up with things that you do wrong when people try to compliment you? If you have a loved one, maybe you're in a relationship, maybe you're married or you have a significant other, are you okay with hugging or holding hands? Does that make you feel uncomfortable? These are things a lot of times that we don't pay attention to, but they are really a driving force in our lives. These things are hindering us from connection. And as humans, we have a basic human need for connections. They've done many stories inside, many studies in psychology where they don't do things like this anymore per se. But they, studied where babies who were not touched or coddled didn't grow as well. They didn't develop as well as children who were held and kissed and loved on. And the same is true for us as we get older. So this is something I want you to think about in your life. Are you open to affection? Are you willing to receive a hug? Does it make you feel weird? Are you more accustomed to pushing people away? Do you look for reasons to disconnect more than you look for reasons to connect and come together? I want you to think about that, because if you want to be in a relationship, if you want your marriage to work, if you want to have a successful business, you cannot do that if you're not willing to really connect and be honest about how you feel and be willing to receive others. And hear me good. I'm not saying you have to make yourself uncomfortable or put yourself in compromising situations, but I am saying that when you love someone, you have to make yourself vulnerable. If you're going to be successful, you're going to make yourself vulnerable in some ways. And if you're not open to being vulnerable, then this is something that you have to work on and figure out why. Okay? So we're going to move on. Next question. When upset or frustrated, do you express your feelings? When upset or frustrated, do you express your feelings? Think about that. When upset or frustrated, do you express your feelings? Self-explanatory. Do you? Or are you the type of person that clams up and pulls away? Do you expect other people to just know how you feel? Was that individual just supposed to know that what they did upset you or offended you or triggered you in some way? I think a lot of times in life, people who have been hurt, those of us who have been through things, if we do not go back and really work on those areas, we walk around with little landmines around us. And people step on those mines and it's like a trigger and it blows up. And our lives just really change. So I just really want to encourage you to think about that. Do you communicate, or do you hold it all in And I just want you to remember, when you hold it all in, nobody else knows what's going on but you. And you carry a weight that you were not created to carry. Okay? So think about that. We're going to move on to the next question. Do you easily trust others? Do you? Or are you a skeptical person? Are you the skeptic? Are you the one who is always like, hey, I got to see it to believe it. I'm never going to believe before I see. Faith, you have to have faith in certain areas. And, I understand that you may go through things in life that hurt you, but you can't carry a guard forever. And if you're going to be in a loving relationship, if you're going to have success, one of the biggest things you're going to have to do is trust. So think about that. Do you trust others? Or are you just very skeptical? And if you are, that is an area that needs to be addressed. That's an area that needs to heal. That's an area that's locked up. It's not open for love and success. And we have to heal that area. Okay? Let's move on. Next question. Do you willingly forgive when you've been wronged? Do you willingly forgive when you've been wronged? Do you? Or do you hold grudges? I can tell you, I used to be the type of person that I would brag about how well I could hold a grudge. I was very serious about my grudges because I always felt like I didn't mess with you. I don't mess with anybody first. That was my thing. I'm not going to mess with you if you don't mess with me. But if you mess with me, we're going to have some problems. But the Bible says, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. And that took me a while to really get that. And when I read that in Romans chapter 12, it really started to work on my heart. And I had to realize that if I was going to grow, if I was going to heal, if I was going to be a wife or a mother, be successful in business, I was going to have to learn how to forgive. So if you're struggling in that area of forgiveness, that is an area of your heart that needs to be open. It's blocked. It's locked up. There's some blockage in there, and we need to get that cleaned out. All right? Okay, let's move on. Next question. Do you take care of your needs before caring for others? Do you take care of your needs before caring for others? That's a good question for you to think about, because I find that many of us, especially us women, it's almost like a badge of honor for us to always take care of everybody else and kind of throw our needs to the wayside. The problem with that is inauthentic living. When we constantly put the needs of others ahead of ourselves, what we're doing is we are teaching the world that we're not important and we don't come first. And if I can't love myself well, I can't love anybody else well. So if you are someone, if you always take care of the needs of others, and not yourself, then you have to do some work and look within and see why self-sacrifice and self-sabotage is a way of life. I know that might sound kind of strong and heavy for some of you, but that's what it is. You can glamorize it, but if you're not taking care of yourself and you're taking care of everybody else, that's what is self-sabotage. And you can't really be open for love and success, because you will drop it all just to take care of someone else and never really value yourself. You have to learn how to do that. So think about it. Let's move on. Do you like to work with others? Do you like to work with others? That's a great question. The reason why I asked that question is because if you don't like to work with others, then I question, why are you wanting to be in love or have success? Because most of the time, we're always going to have to interact with other people in some way, shape, or form. I know a lot of people trying to save enough money, build up enough wealth, make enough alliances so that they can kind of build like a bunker around themselves of protection, like their own hedge of protection, not God's hedge of protection, but their own hedge of protection. And the idea is we want to be able to do it all. I don't want to need anybody else. But that's unrealistic, and we were not created to live like that. And I understand that for many of us, we desire to live like that because we're trying to protect ourselves from being hurt, from when we've been let down and when we've been disappointed and when people have stabbed us in the back. And because of that, we want to build a protective barrier around ourselves. So we try to get smart enough, get enough degrees, make enough money, make the right friends, marry the right people. We try to do these things to protect ourselves, but it's not going to work. If you're going to live in this world, you're going to be hurt in some way, shape, or form. And you're going to hurt someone in some way, shape, or form. It's not intentional. A lot of times, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But that's just a way of life. And you have to understand that, especially if you're going to be in relationship. You have to be willing to work as a team. It could be romantic partners, significant, your husband and wife, or parents and children, and sisters and brothers, all different relationships. But you have to be willing to work with others. Okay? You can't just be out here on an island. That's not the way it works. So think about that and see, is your heart open? Is it? Or are you listening to some of these questions and you're like, I don't know. I think I have to do some work. Well, guess what? We're going to do this work together. Okay? Let's move on. Do you receive compliments well? Do you? That's just very simple, but it's a big thing. Are you able to receive compliments? When people compliment you, do you receive them or do you deflect them? Are you able to receive compliments when other people are receiving criticism? Are you able to hold that space and be happy for yourself regardless of what's going on around you with others? Because if not, you might not be able to receive the love and affection that comes, the attention and the gratitude and the responses that come with the love and success that you want. So you want to be open and ready for those things. Okay? So think about it. Do you receive compliments well? We're going to move on. All right. We're coming down to the end here. Do you have a regular emotional wellness routine? Example, therapy, coaching, counseling, meditation. It could be that you go on an annual retreat every year. But do you have a regular emotional wellness routine? Do you pray? Are you a part of a Bible study? Do you worship? What do you do to keep yourself whole? Do you eat well? Yes, and exercise, but how do you take care of your heart? How do you release stress or worry or fear or doubt or, pain? What do you do with that? Do you journal? This is very important for us to be able to be free and to be whole and to exist in loving and successful relationships. And this often is not what is talked about. Usually we're like, check this off, go to school, go to college 4 years, buy this house, find this person and have this good job and have these 2.5 kids and get a house with a fence and then your life should be perfect. And that's not the truth. And that's what a lot of people find themselves very disappointed because that's what they're trying to do. So what's your emotional wellness routine? How are you taking care of yourself? And if you're not, then that's a sign that maybe you have some areas that you have to heal before you can really open yourself for love and success. Because love and success come with responsibilities. And in those responsibilities, you're going to have to make sure you're taking care of yourself if you're going to be able to give and take care of others well. Okay? So we pretty much come to an end. How did it go? Think about it. How did it go? How did your checklist check off? Did you check off every box? Or did you find that your list was kind of sketchy? Maybe you had a few boxes checked You can go to my website, theheartconnections.com, and go back. And if you need to download or get another copy of the checklist so that you can go through it again, you may even want to share it with others. Do that. I encourage you to do that, because this is really something important that we have to be willing to do. And I have committed to show up for you, because I know what it's like to hide behind that mask of, I'm okay, I have it all together, I got this figured out. Let me just get this right, or let me just get that right. And no, God is after our hearts. Jesus said he came to set the captives free. And it wasn't just a physical captivity. Many of us are imprisoned in our hearts, and we have to let go. So I want to help you out. I have a few ways that I want to help you. And I just want you to know that you just deserve to be whole in every area of your life. You don't have to just accept it. Well, that's just the way it is, and that's just the way it's always going to be. No, you can do something about it. You just have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to put that work in and take the time that's required, because you're worth it. You're very worth it. So I have a tool for you to use. I wrote a book entitled Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again. And this link right here, you can go to that link and you can get the book off Amazon. You can also go to my website and download the book at theheartconnections.com. And this book, it pretty much takes you through the journey of going through a divine heart transplant. We talked about, is your heart open for love and success? But a lot of times hearts have blockage. That's why in real life people will have to get a heart transplant, because their hearts will be blocked and they become hard from the blockage, and then the blood can't flow, and then it can't get to the rest of the body, and they're living life below their potential. And that's how many of us are living mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And we have to start to do the work. We have to get our hearts softened. Ezekiel chapter 36:26, it talks about that, and I highlight that in the book. And Ezekiel says, I'm trying to see. It says, for I will take you out of the nations and gather you from all the countries and bring you back into your own land. I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will be clean. And I will cleanse you from all your impurities and from all your idols. And listen to this, verse 26. And I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit in you and move you to follow my decrees and be careful to keep my laws. And that's pretty much what I base this whole idea of this divine heart transplant on. It's the whole idea that the Lord is saying, your heart has been hardened. You've been hurt. You've been let down. You've been neglected. You've been abused. You've been abandoned. You've been violated. But I've come to heal that. And I want to help you with that. So you can go to this link. You can get this book. I also have other resources. My other book, Anchored, Be Blessed Daily, Volume 1. And these are just all tools to help you really confront those hard areas of your heart so that they can be open for love and success. So connect with me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook at The Heart Connections. You can also connect with me at theheartconnections.com, theheartconnections.com. And I have my blog there, my video blog. I've written out blogs, just different resources to help you begin to open your heart, because it's very important to me. My life has changed when I allowed God in, when I allowed him to do this work that he promised in Ezekiel. And so the book goes through 6 steps to help you do that. And this book helps you do that on a daily basis. It's all about healing. It's all about transforming your life through healing, through working on you and working on what's within, because you're more than enough and you're worth the investment. So just remember that You are worth the investment, and I'm so thankful for being here with you today. So make sure you go and get your copy of Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again, and connect with me on social media. I'd love to hear from you and love to connect with you guys. I am Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and I also want to thank you to toexposeyou.com for this opportunity to be able to record here with you. Make sure you guys check them out. They're streaming 24/7 with great content like this and just so many other topics, and they're just doing a great job of getting information out into the community. So I thank y'all. I love y'all. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach. And remember, if you heal your heart, you transform your life.